What up, guys? Welcome back to Base Damage. Once again, joining me this week for another podcast that he hasn't been on in a while is Mr. Joe Schmo. How's it going, bro?
Hey. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm doing good.
I was like, okay, this is the drunk podcast. I'm just kidding. No, don't get any ideas. We're not doing that.
Well.
He's like, now that you mention it, no. No, seriousness. That would be the amusing thing is if we did something like that. I don't drink, so it would be everyone else getting drunk.
You be the sober one of the group.
I would be the sober one just laughing at everything going on. It'd be great. I don't know. Might happen, might not.
Ideas
for the future. Anywho, thank you all for watching. This is the continuation of the BanG Dream set. Going over the set and discussing it. Now, the problem with this, I say problem because the red cards in BanG Dream, there are 60 cards. Okay, 7 of them are climaxes, and there's 2 vanillas. That's it. So, there's only 2 vanillas, so technically we're only going to be discussing about 51 cards, but to go through each of them, we're going to kind of make this the lightning round podcast, because I'm going to try to keep this as timed best I can, but as usual, shout-outs to our buddy Chris Cohn. Check out his Twitch stream. They stream D&D for charity for the Children's Miracle Network. Link in the description. Be much appreciated. So, in the last one, we were talking about the green cards, which there's only 19 green cards, but there's 20 red cards. So, we figured...
20?
Yeah.
Said 20 red cards.
Fuck. Oh my god.
You mean
okay.
60 or something.
60 red cards, 40 blue cards. We can do blue cards a little easier, but it's whatever. It's a whole bunch of stuff but it's because of how much stuff they're having to make for Pop and Party, and just basically cover an entire anime. So whereas the trial deck only covered like maybe an episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
So something like that. They took a lot of stuff, and it's also Bushiroad trying to promote their own series a whole bunch, because the Bushiroad owns the rights to it completely and totally, to my understanding. So yeah, so Joe, we're going to try to get through this as best we can. If we see something is a backup, I'm just going to recite what it is real quick and just say, okay, that's what this is, next card, regardless of we're going to alternate like we usually do. But if I see that it's a backup when we pull it up, I will just read through it real quick and we'll continue regardless of who's going next.
Back up next.
Yep, and okay, this is a 3000 generic 3000 backup. So, other than that, even if it is like a generic effect, we'll just try to cover it real quick and be like, okay, this could combo with this. We still want to mention what cards combo with each other and how stuff can flow, considering this will all be mostly the same color. I know you're still going to splash blue in regardless, but at the same time, I do like seeing how this series has a lot of cards for options. So, anywho, without further ado, I'm gonna get a drink real quick. What are your thoughts so far? Because I know you looked through some of the cards. This isn't exactly a blind reaction like we've done before with me and Matt. What are your thoughts on this set so far, Brother Joe?
Well, I like how they're trying to focus and get people in. I'm saying this because of the green side. You can build a cheap and good deck with the green stuff. Now, all the money is going to be probably focused into the red, because the first card we're starting off with is already a freaking double rare. And it looks like a bunch of other cards are going to go off the same climaxes too, which they are probably climax rares. The important ones are, so which means more money. Personally, I think red is going to be the money part of this whole set.
Might be. I can completely understand where you're coming from, considering how many red cards there are. Completely understandable. Because of how many climaxes there may not be that many multiple climax combos, like how we had with Love Live Sunshine, where it was like, across multiple colors, everything comboing with the same name card or same name climax. Probably won't be as much of that. So, anywho, if you want to, I'll start this off getting into Kasumi. Happy Christmas is a level 1 0 cost 45, and like you mentioned, this is a double rare. So there are double rares in this set, whereas the green didn't have double rares at all. 4,500, 1 soul. When your other character with either music or Asuka in name is placed from hand to stage, this gains 1,000 power for the turn, and that activates up to twice per turn. So she can become a 65, which is really nice. When this attacks, if Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is in your climax zone, okay, not directly ripping off anything there, you may choose something inside the storage in your waiting room, return it to your hand.
I have that pulled up.
You have that?
Yeah.
Let's say, is it an event?
Yeah, it's an event.
We'll go over that when we get to it.
Okay.
No problem.
Cancel that.
But the cool thing is it's just on attack. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to reverse anything. It's just on the attack, but it specifically grabs that something as opposed to giving you the option. So, anyway. Next. Go, Joe.
Saya, Happy Christmas. I like to point out how cute she looks with those antlers. It's a level 3/2 double rare.
You don't have to go that fast, bro. You're fine.
Oh, well, I mean, considering how much we have. Anyway, her first skill is a continuous skill. If you have 4 or more music characters, this card gets -1 level in your hand. And if you have 2 or more music characters, it gets 1,000 power. And when this card is placed on stage from hand, you get to heal a card from your clock.
So, really good generic. Being able to do the early play for a fairly easy cost is pretty nice. The only thing is, it only buffs her up to, like, generic stats, because she's normally just a 9k. Still 2 soul, but that's whatever. It's not a bad early play, considering it's also an early play heal. So that's not bad. So then is Kasumi and Rimi Under the Full Moon, another level 3, 2 cost, 9k, 2 soul, also double rare. If all your characters are music, it gets 2,000 power. So the whole deck's going to be music, more than likely. I say that, but then there was that one card that said, like, or Asuka in the name. So maybe that's not music. I don't know.
I think it gets her sister.
Oh, good point. So, either way, that would become a base 11. Excuse me. When this is placed from hand to stage, or by a change effect, so bringing back some change stuff, you may pay the cost, which is discarding a card. If so, put the top card of your clock in your stock. Shoutouts to that new level 3 Liz from the re-edit set. That's basically the same effect. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock. If so, choose one of your music characters, and stand them and swap them. Shoutouts to Niza Monogatari with one of the Karin Araragis, basically that effect. I like the field manipulation on that. That's pretty cool. So, basically it makes it so her cost is half if you're able to do that ability, and being able to change and start doing that early on to get some extra stock, or to be able to summon stuff for half the cost essentially, as long as you have the stock initially. It's pretty fucking cool. So. Anywho, next one, level 3.
Saya Yamabuki, a level 3 with 2 costs, also a double rare. Okay, I think all the 3s are going to be double rares. That's my opinion for the red. Her second trait is bread. When this card is placed on stage from hand, draw up the 2 cards and discard a card from your hand. So it's like one of the green cards, as we stated before. It has a climax combo with Exchange Promise. When Exchange Promise is placed in your climax zone, if this is in the front row, this gains 1,000 power and the following ability for the turn. Auto, pay 1, discard a music character from your hand to put in the waiting room. When your battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost, deal 4 damage to your opponent.
Ooh, nice. Okay. That's actually really good. Okay, I realized
Saya coming with those big hits.
We didn't check what Twinkle Twinkle Little Star was. So Twinkle Twinkle and Exchanged Promise. I'm going to check both of those right now for climaxes, because I realized I didn't go over that. So Twinkle Twinkle, Exchange Promise. So that is a 1k1 salvage trigger, and it does not say. Okay, it states in here. It doesn't have the picture. It's a 1k1, and it is also a salvage. So just showing right there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So I like that. It's just the 4 damage like that. So it's almost like the last shot Xenon, but it's on reverse instead of on attack. So anyway, level 3. Ren Ushigome, another double rare. Like you said, a whole bunch of these double rares. So Rimi. Level 3, 2 costs, 10k, 2 soul. When it's placed from hand to stage, draw up to 1 card, and this gets 2,000 power for the turn. When this attacks, if a big step is in the climax zone, we'll check that in a second, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's waiting room, put it on top of the library. And this gains the ability for the turn. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. So that's pretty cool. You can set up, what was it called? A big step. You can set up to potentially deal some damage.
I like to point out her second trait, sir. Would you please read that?
Hold on 1 second. The climax is a double crit, and choose up to 2 of your characters. They both get 2k and a soul. So, going back to... Choco Comet is the tray.
Cornet. It's a pastry that Saya's family makes in their bakery that she really likes. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I did not realize that. Okay, because I was like, I couldn't tell that the M that it's an N, not an M. It looks like Chocolate Comet. Okay, so next one's you, bro.
We're going on to the main character of this whole shebang, Kasumi Toyama. By the way, her outfit looks good on her as well. So, she's a level 3, guess what? A double rare, at a cost of 2. Her second trait is Star. I have a feeling these traits will come in. I don't know why, I just have a feeling.
Jesus, three abilities.
Yes. Well, she's main character. It'd be weird if she didn't. Auto, when this card is placed on stage from hand, draw 2 cards. Discard 2 cards from your hand to the waiting room, and put 1 card from the top of your library into the stock.
So she guarantees pays for half of her ability. Go ahead.
Yeah. Climax combo. When Star Beat. Hoshi no Kodu anyway is placed in the climax zone. If this is in the front row, choose one of your characters in your hand with either music or Asuka in the name and put it in any slot on the stage, and this card gets 3,000 power for the turn. Her next skill, Auto Pay 4. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, put the top card of your deck into the waiting room. Deal X amount of damage to your opponent. X equals 1 plus the level of the card. Climax cards count as 0 for this effect. Damage can be canceled.
Oh my god. Okay, now this is actually really good. She pays for half of her own cost. She summons anything that's music, which is just going to be 9.9 tenths of the deck. Good god. And then, like, summon it, they get a buff, and then she can go try to burn you for a fuck ton. That cost is a little high for the variable damage on that. Considering you could just mill a 0 and do 1, which would suck for having to pay 4 stock to do only 1. But either way, Starbeat is...
This next card it's got a lot of stuff going on.
The next one is a... okay, Starbeat Hoshino Kodu is a double crit. Choose a red card from waiting room, put it in your stock, and all your characters get +1 soul for the turn. So, okay. That's that. You are very wordy. So that is the Kasumi.
Starting party Saya Yamabuki.
Hold on one second. I gotta get.
Oh, you're not there.
Where did I? Oh, okay. I didn't realize where I was. Staring. Kasumi, Rimi, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and Rimi. So I'm at 30. Okay. I'm basically just doing 5 at a time for the tabs. Okay, so go for it.
It's your turn.
Oh, it is my turn? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Starting party, Saya Yamabuki, level 0, 1500 power, multiple climax combos, which is interesting.
One's a climax brainstorm combo.
Interesting. So, okay, this is reminiscent of Triad Primus from Cinderella Girls. Basically, it was a specific brainstormer that worked off of milling specific climaxes, to which you basically base the entire deck around just those 2 climaxes. So this is giving me feels of is Triad Primus. So first climax combo, when either We Are Poppin' Party or Poppin' Party First Live is placed in your climax zone, all your characters get 500 power for the turn. Pretty cool. To which we'll go ahead and pull up both of those. We Are and First Live.
I have a feeling the We Are is a 1K1. Burn?
We Are Poppin' Party, and I don't see the... Oh, what if it might be blue?
No, it's at the bottom.
It's at the... Poppin' Party First Live is the very last card of the blue stuff. Okay, there also is some promos I didn't realize. Pucci, Kasumi, Rimi, and Saya. So, basically, if you're doing 2 colors on this, if you mill a red climax or a particular name blue climax. So, the red climax is one of the new triggers. Okay, might as well go over this real quick just because. One of the new things for BanG Dream is they have this new trigger icon, which almost looks like a little power-up thing, but it's called Standby. It does not give any buffs when you play the climax. It has 0 buffs of power or soul. But when you play the climax, you activate the trigger ability, or when you trigger it, it does the same thing. Otherwise, it's still 1 damage. Basically, when this gets played, you pick a character in your waiting room with a level equal to or minus or less than your level plus 1. So if you're level 1, you summon a level 2. You're level 2, you can summon a level 3. Take that character, put it on any open position of your stage, and as rested. So it lets you get back characters over the course of every time you play this card. But that also means you can basically get stuff to the stage for free. So this is going to be a very interesting thing when this comes up. So that's what this trigger effect is. If we have more in this set, it'll be a thing. Pop-In Party First Alive is a 1k1 pants trigger, so you can get back your climaxes. And if you get back that trigger climax basically over and over and over and keep doing the shenanigans. So anyway, also, so the brainstorm effect for the Saya. Pay 1, tap 2 characters, flip 5 cards from your library to the waiting room. So you mill 5 cards. For each of those specific climaxes, as mentioned before, choose up to 1 character in your waiting room, return it to hand. So it's a salvage, and you mill 1 more than usual, but it's because you have to hit specific climaxes. So basically, if you run this, you don't want any other named climaxes in the deck. So carry on, good sir. Next one.
Kasumi, first time feeling heart thumping. It is a single rare. It is a 0/0. First ability. Is an auto ability. This ability activates up to 3 times per turn. When your other music character is placed from hand to stage, choose one of your characters, and that character gains 500 power. This is an act ability. Pay 2, rest this. Choose a character from your rating room, either music or Asuka, in the name, and return it to hand.
Pretty good. Basically, that buff could come into play pretty easily. I'm interested to see what the Asuka cards in this are. So, Rimi at the Live House around sunset is a level 0, 2,000 power, 1 soul. When it's placed from stage to hand, choose one of your other music characters. It gets 1,000 power for the turn. And when your climax is placed in your climax zone, you can send this back to your hand, and if you do choose a character, that character gets 2,000 power. That can be useful later in the game. Basically, being able to do that over and over and over every single time that you play a climax. Also, as mentioned before with the trigger stuff, think about this. If you have a full field and you play that new trigger icon, the startup, use this ability, send it back to hand, you have an open slot for the ability to be able to play something there. Interesting thing to keep in mind there. Basically, she opens up a space for someone else to be like, yo, we coming in, type thing. So, just throwing that out there. And next one. Okay, so...
Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Kasumi. Alright, it is another single rare. It's a 0/0. Auto skill, pay 1. Put the top card of your library into your clock. When this is placed from the stage to the waiting room, you may pay the cost. If so, choose a character in your waiting room with either Kasumi, Tai, Rimi, Saya, or Arisa and a name, and return it to your hand. So it's specific salvager, would you call it?
It is a salvager. A lot of people refer to this because of the cost as what is known as a Riki clone, but Riki is from a different set altogether. And it searches from the deck, whereas this salvages. But that's still pretty cool. So, yay Kasumi doing shenanigans. Rimi Gloomy Awakening is a level 1 0 cost, 1,500 power. If there's a marker under this, it gains 3,000 power. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may choose a letter from Kasumi in your waiting room and put it face down under this as a marker. I'm guessing that's an event.
Yep.
And it's a level 1 reverser. So that's still pretty cool. You don't necessarily have to get the buff off of that. Otherwise, it's still only a 45. But if you're wanting to use this just for the level 1 reverser effect, you're still pretty good off. So, alrighty. And that was the last tab I had it was the other blue climax. So, back up to 31. Happy Halloween. 1 second. That was the end of the 5 tabs there. Sorry. And Thunder Thighs. What? Okay, so then 31. Go for it.
Kasumi, Happy Halloween is a level 1, another single rare. Alright, if you put it has a continuous effect. If there is a marker under this card, it gains 3,500 power and the following ability, which is an auto skill. Pay 1, put the top card of your library into the clock. When the battle pony of this becomes reversed, if this is in the front row center slot, you may pay the cost. If so, choose a character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. When this card is placed on stage from hand, you may choose something inside the storage in your waiting room and put it underneath as a marker. We referred to this already before, it is an event card.
Okay, so a couple things with this. Like, you basically have to have the marker to reverse anything unless you're fresh into level 1 and your opponent still has weak-ass level...
Zeros.
Level zeros? Bleh, couldn't think. The other problem with this is it has to be in the front row center slot. You can't play multiples of these to get that advantage off. Like, even the taking 1 damage from the cost is not even that bad to me, but it's because you have to be in the front row center is where it's kind of like, really? Okay. So that's a little disheartening to me for that effect. Next is Rimi Heart Thumping Stage. It's a level 1 0 cost. Alright, so we have a couple abilities on this. She's a rare, so that's pretty cool. 45. When your climax is placed in the climax zone, this gains plus 1500 power. Okay, I'm already having Nita Minami feels here. Climax combo. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if admired stage is in your climax zone, choose up to 1 letter from Kasumi in your waiting room, return it to your hand. And this gains the following ability for the turn. At the start of Encore step, you return this to your hand. Okay. Interesting. So she's like, I'm going to pop in, I'm going to punch this, I'm going to grab this, I'm going to pop out. It's like a hit and run. That's what this is. This is a fucking hit and run climax combo. So, admired stage, going back down this big ass list, is a 1K1 salvage trigger. So, sorry, what?
This next card's kind of
You want me to read it?
Well, it's Saya, female high school student. It's a continuous effect. If the level of the character opposite of this is higher than the level of this, it cannot frontal attack.
They had something like this in the SAR re-edit. There was an Asuna that basically had the same effect. But there's probably something you can do to, 1, increase the level of this card, because it's a free cost. So at level 1, you're fine. As far as if they play level 2, if there's an effect later on that increases the level of this to level 2 or higher, then you're fine. And you don't have to worry about it. And she can still poke and probably have a buff at that point. So that's not even that bad. Like, it still is a little sad to see for, only having 65, but that's whatever. And then Saya, Thinking of Friends, is level 2, 1 cost, 6,000. All your level 3 or higher characters in front of this get 2,000 power, so only specifically for level 3s, but bigger than most level assist. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have another Kasumi Toyama, look at the top card of your library and put it either on the top or the bottom of your library, then choose up to 1 music character in your waiting room, put it into your stock. So as long as you have that specific Kasumi, she pays for herself, and then you get the top check. So that's not that bad for an assist. But carry on.
The next card is Saya, Under the Sunlight Through the Leaves. It is a single rare. It is a level 2 cost of 1. The first one is a continuous one. If you have 4 or more music characters, this card gets -1 level in your hand. And it has a climax combo. When this attacks, if Kind Big Sister is in the climax zone, choose up to 1 Under the Night Sky in your waiting room and return it to your hand. And put 1 card from the top of your library into the stock. So you basically get back the cost of her.
Yeah, so that's not bad at all. Kind Big Sister is a double crit, red stock. I think I actually went over this before. It's a red stock from waiting room, and all your characters get +1 soul. It's pretty cool. So she's number 35. We are gotta go back up the list. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So Star and Party, Kasumi, Rimi Suggestion. Okay, number 40 up here is one of the Asukas. So yes, Asuka Toyama, which is so yeah, it'll be your sister. I'm actually gonna pull up a couple more tabs, and just 5 at a time is not gonna help us go through this quick enough.
Well, I said that because I watched the series.
Yeah, you're right.
Just throwing that out there.
I realized that afterwards. So okay, Star and Party. This is gonna have a lot of effects. Okay.
Oh, it does.
Kasumi Toyama. It's a rare, level 3, 2 cost, 95, 2 soul. So interesting. We're gonna probably have a big buff here. Okay, it's just 2 effects, but it's a really big ass specific thing, like how that event was. Yeah, so how that event was from the Child Deck Plus. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can search your library for music characters. So this will help set up for whatever combo this does. At the start of your attack phase, if We Are Poppin' Party is in the climax zone, we went over that before. This is which is the new trigger thing, and this is in the front row, and you have another Star and Party Tai, Star and Party Rimi, Star and Party Saya, Star and Party Arisa. You may pay the cost, which is 4 stock and discard 3 cards. If so, stand all of your opponent's characters, deal X damage to your opponent, put up to X cards from the top of your clock in the waiting room. X is equal to the number of your opponent's standing characters.
So you can deal up to 5 and
and heal 5. It is a hefty cost with a specific set. Because of how specific the setup is, I feel that they should bring the cost down by 1.
That's
maybe
what I think on each side, to be fully honest.
Well, she searches for 1. Like, on play, she searches for 1 of these, and to be certain, a lot of these other ones, if I remember correctly, were like another one's a level 3 or 2. So, and also because the climax. Okay, one of the things you can mitigate this with is the fact that if you play the climax, you can get back one of the pieces from the waiting room back row. So that helps it a little bit more. She searches for a piece, you play the climax that doesn't give any buffs whatsoever. So it's like, okay, because you're not also getting any buffs off the climax, I would totally say this being a climax combo needs to be a little bit lower. But this is a very powerful effect. You attempt to deal up to X damage and put up to X cards from the top of your... And you put up to X cards from the top of your clock into the waiting room. You heal a lot, depending if your opponent has a lot of characters or what. So that's
that could be a
cool.
Game changer too.
It really is, especially if it's like late. If you're like higher up in damage and just completely erase all of that, is just crazy to me.
I have breathing room.
See here, one of the Star and Parties, Rimi, is a level 3, so you're going to have to be paying a decent bit of stock for this. The fact that you had to pay 4, this already states that going into level 3 you had to have 8 stock before anything else. And that's if you don't summon this off of the climax trigger. Anyway, so your go for this one.
Star and Party Rimi. She's a level 3, 2 cost, and a single rare. When this is placed on stage from hand, you may put the top card of your clock into the waiting room, so you heal 1. And it has a climax combo. When this card attacks, if We Are Poppin' Party is in a climax zone, all your characters gain X power plus 1 soul for the turn. X equals 1,000 times the opponent's standing characters.
Never mind. I see where that combo's at.
Yeah, it just backs it right on up already.
So that Kasumi says, everybody march in, stand up, and just Oh my god, if you do that before with the Kasumi, deal 5, heal 5, everyone gains 5,001 soul. Jesus, even if you throw out oh my god, I don't even know what other all the other Star and Party. One of the other Star and Parties was a level 0 Saya. That's hilarious. So, oh my god, they get huge, bro.
So what I'm hearing is shenanigans.
Shenanigans may occur with this, so that's funny as fuck to me. Okay,
no.
So Rimi suggestion, level 0, 1500, uncommon. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a Choco Cornet, from your waiting room, return it to your hand. The cost is 2 stock. When damage dealt by this is canceled, you may put this in your stock. That's actually really useful. The second effect is even very useful first turn. If you go first, swing with this. If your damage gets canceled, she goes to your stock. You end up having 2 stock off of that to play another copy of her next turn, and get something back. That's pretty cool. So, anyway, next. Kasumi,
Under the Night Sky, is an uncommon level 0 cost. If for your other Kasumi first live in the front row center slot gains 1500 power and Encore, which is a character discard. Axe skill, rest this, choose one of your characters with either music or Asuka and the name, and this card gains 1500 power.
That character gains 15. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's cool. So if you specifically have that Kasumi first live and you tap it for that, you can give that Kasumi a total of plus 3,000 and have character Encore as well. That's pretty cool. So here's the Asuka. Toyama, level 0, 2,000 power. When this is sent from the stage to the waiting room, so when it dies, you may pay the cost of 1. If so, choose a Kasumi Happy Christmas, which is the first card we went over, was the double rare, in your waiting room, and put it rested in any slot on the stage. So that's actually pretty cool, being able to do that at level 1, or at level 0, like if you have that out and it dies, summon it back, so pretty cool. Alright, so next
up, Kasumi, girls band Holy Sight. Alright, they're in front of the venue they play at. The ability activates twice per turn. When your character... I'm starting to learn not to read. When your other character with either music or Asuka in the name is placed from hand to stage, this gains 1,500 power. So it could be a 5,000 by the end of the turn.
Which starts off at 2, so yeah, you're right. So that's pretty cool. Especially if you like summon other copies of like that Asuka or whatever, it's still pretty cool. Like for level 0 shenanigans, it ain't bad. Saya, new start, level 0, 2k. When it's placed from hand to stage, put the top 2 cards of your library in the waiting room. If there is at least one climax card amongst them, choose one of your characters, and that character gets 1,500 power for the turn. I like how that's a buff instead of a demerit. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock, and discard a card. If so, choose a music character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, choose one of your other music characters, and that character gains 1,000 power for the turn. So, still pretty good. Like, salvage and some buff so that makes her a little more useful at multiple stages of the game, especially if you do need a hand fix some. So, that's pretty cool. But
next up is Saya, Good Housework. It's an uncommon. It has a continuous skill. If there are two or fewer cards in your stock, it gains 1,000 and a level.
That's actually pretty cool also, because then that makes it a level 135, so that helps you run over some reversers and whatnot, so it's pretty cool. Saya, running emotion, level 1 cost, 6,000 for each of your other music characters, gains 500 power. It's a Taige clone without this like initial starting stats of a Taige, so still pretty cool. Oh my, I like this card art, just saying.
Alright. Alright, this card, Saya...
Do you need me to say this one for you?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Saya and Rimi, Midsummer Beachside. This was not in the anime. Has a continuous effect. It's an experience. If the level of characters in your level is 2 or higher, this gains 1,500 power and Encore, which is character Encore.
So she's normally a 1 cost, which getting the experience of 2 or higher is easy as fuck. Like, just straight up, I'm not even gonna like try to bullshit that. That's just easy. And the sum of basically turns her into a 75 character Encore, cost 1. So still not bad. So that was 45. So next is 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, so we got a ways to go before the vanillas. But
Jesus, I'm wrong way.
All right, so
we've talked about the climaxes that we want to win a log, so we really don't have that much more.
It's not that much. So 55, it will be where the next set of tabs ends at. So 46. Okay, well this is a backup anyway. When you play the backup, mill 3 cards from the top of your library, and it's a 3k level 2 backup. So it's just Rimi going, here's some power. So, and then next one, Rimi, Song of Chaco Comet. So I'm just going to say Comet for that because it's funny, but I know it's Cornet. Level 2, 1 cost, 4,000, so it's an assist. It's a level assist in front, and when your other character gets reversed in battle, choose one of your characters, and that gets 1,000 power for the turn. So that's actually that's actually a really useful ability, and I feel it's underestimated. So, next is
Sprintin' Party, Saya Yamabuki.
That's actually a really nice dress.
Yes, it is.
Sorry,
a level 2 cost of 1. It's an uncommon. It's a level assist for 500 times their level. This ability activates once per turn. This is an auto effect. When you play an event, choose one of your characters and they get 1,000 power.
So that's pretty cool. Like, considering we've seen so many other effects with pertaining to some events in here, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Good morning, Kasumi. Level 2, 1 cost, 5,000. More assist back row. This is another level assist. That's 3 level assist in a row. Rest this, choose a character. It gets the ability, when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you can look at the top card of your library and put it on the top or in the waiting room. That's not even that much worth it. Like, just for the... I don't know. It's whatever. I don't really care for that effect. Next is you, Kasumi satisfied.
Hold on. No, sorry. I thought you were still talking about the card.
You're fine, dude. You gotta be on your toes when you're around me, boy.
Kasumi satisfied. Alright, it is an uncommon level 2 at a cost of 1. The first skill is an auto ability. When this card is placed from hand to stage, this card gains X power for the turn. X is 1,000 times the number of your character with either music or Asuka in the name. So it could be up to 1,200 when it's... No, take that back.
Yeah, no, it counts yourself.
1,100. Does that count yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just says of your characters. Because she herself has music. So you're straight on that. And then,
second skill, pay the cost of 1 auto. When a level 2 or higher battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If so, choose a character in your waiting room and put it back to your hand.
That's actually really cool for a turn of the salvage and whatnot. That's actually pretty neat effect. Rimi, a sunset moment, level 2, 1 cost 8k. It has a change effect, so this is going to change into Kasumi and Rimi under the full moon. Basically, at the start of your climax phase, sorry I had to check for the timing of that, you may pay the cost, which is 1 stock, and discard 2 music characters. Little hefty there. Oh, you return this to your hand as well. So that's actually pretty cool. That's not bad. It kind of ends up paying for itself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you grab back that Kasumi and Rimi and put it into the slot that it was on. So, still pretty cool. Next is Clive Saya.
Yes. Is this you or me?
It's you.
Okay. Clive Saya is a common level 0 cost of 0 with 500 power. Is a general assist in front for 500. When this card is placed on stage from hand as well, you may look up to the top 2 cards of your library and put them on the top of your library in any order.
I do like that kind of effect. The I think it's called scrying is like the technical term used for it, but it's whatever. Okay. Next is Rimi Shy Girl. It's level 0, 500 power. All of your 500 assist in front. And when your other character becomes reversed in battle, choose a character that gets 500 power for the turn. So, like how I mentioned for that level 2, that effect can be underrated because I've seen a lot of battles come down to just 500 power. So,
next card.
This is interesting.
Hentai Kasumi. All right. Anyway, she's a general in system front for 500. They have them back to back for some reason.
It's like anyway, back to back.
Auto ability: when another music character is placed from hand to stage, you may look at the top card of your library. So wow, that actually just keeps going off. So place that first. Keep looking. If there's any draw abilities going on afterwards with the next card. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you can use shit.
A little weird. Asuka thinking about Big Sister. Level 0, 1500 power. Common at this point.
Hold on.
What's up?
I just realized that card keeps going off no matter what. So you can keep that in the back row and it just keeps going off.
Yeah, it's like the Koyomi Araragi on Mother's Day from Bakemonogatari.
Mm-hmm.
Like the same type of effect as that. You just every single time one of those traits gets played, you can top check. It's pretty cool. So this Asuka, when it's placed from hand to stage, look at the top card of your library and put it either on top or in the library or in the waiting room. And it has a bond with Poppin' Party Kasumi Toyama of just discard a card. So you throw her down, you grab back the Kasumi, we good. So 55. So 56, 57, 58, 59. This 60 is a vanilla. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. And 66, because 67 is a vanilla as well. So then we're going to start at 68 afterwards. So,
all right, the card we're starting with, Rimi, Something in the Morning. We're going to the 0 still. When auto skill, when this is placed from stage to hand, choose one of your other music characters, and that character gains 1,000 power. Act ability, rest 2 of your music characters, choose one of your characters, and that character also gains 2,000 power. So that's a 3,000 boost right there.
Easily in one turn. That's actually pretty cool. So, alright, not bad. Clive, Kasumi, she is not satisfied with that face. Level 0, 1500 power. When this is placed from hand to stage, this gains 1500 power for the turn, so she could become a 3k for a turn, which is pretty cool. She has a bond with the Asuka, Kasumi's little sister, So just discard a card and grab her back. So pretty cool. Neat little bit of hand fixing with a lot of these bonds where you just discard a card. This is very nice. Okay, so the next one is a... Oh, well, okay, I thought it was a backup at first, but it's the clock shift. Go ahead.
Rimi, curtain roll. Certain roll? Curtain roll?
Curtain roll, you're right.
Curtain roll, alright. Auto skill, when this becomes reverse, your opponent becomes reverse as well if it's a level 0. And it has shift.
Which, basically, this reminds me of Ushio Kai from Kantai, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad to see that after all the shit we've gone through, they do have a freaking level 0 reverser. Like, I haven't seen a runner or anything of that nature so far, so anyway. Saya, self-introduction. Level 0, 2k. If there are 2 or fewer cards in your stock, she gets 1500 power, so some more buffs. When this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost. Discard a Saya invitation from your hand to the waiting room. If so, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your library. Search for a music character, reveal it, put it in your hand, and this gets 1000 power until the end of turn. So if you do the full effect, she ends up with the previous buff as before. She ends up being like a 45 for the turn if you're able to go ahead and... That's the look at 5 in mill. That's actually really, really big. But you discard a specific card, so that's whatever. Anyway, next, Spring Party Rimi Ushigome. That's you.
Yep. When this card is placed from stage to hand, from hand to stage, put the top card of your library into the waiting room. If it's a climax card, put this into your stock.
Okay, that's not that bad of a drawback, really. But I mean, either way, if you get stock off of that, that's not that bad. This is a regular backup. This is a Kasumi exchanging side dishes. Is a 1000 backup. When you play the backup, you can choose a music character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. That's actually a really nice back. Oh, you pay 2 stock. Okay, so that's fair. Okay, so then the next one I'll get still. Saya, Moment in the Morning. Level 1, 0 cost, 25. Your other character in the front row center gets 1000 power. Really good buff there. If there's a marker under this, all your characters in front of this gain 500 power. Okay, more marker and shenanigans with these events. Basically, when she gets played, you can choose Under the Night Sky, which is an event, in your waiting room, put it under this as a marker. So, we're all building towards that one moment where we read over the events and go, what the fuck? So, the next is you, Clive Rimi.
Clive Rimi! Alright, it has 1 skill. Auto, when this card attacks, you have 2 or more other music characters. It gains 2000.
So it starts as a 5, free level 1, becomes a 7. It's just really easy to get off this effect. Because it also doesn't state where the other music characters have to be. Just saying, if you don't got them in the center stage, it don't matter. If you just have them back row. So that's still pretty good. Saya handing over Choco Comets. Level 1, 0 cost, 55. So if there are no cards in your clock, she can't attack at all. Not even front. She can't even side. Just no attacking. When this is placed from hand to stage, it gets 1500 power for the turn. So she could be a free 7k, but you have to have at least 1 card in your clock for her to do anything.
This next picture.
Yeah, the flavor text of "Please be careful" is appropriate. So,
no,
okay.
The next picture. Yeah.
Yeah, you got this, son.
Disclaimer: she is underage.
Disclaimer: she is underage because I couldn't hardly hear that myself.
All right. If you have no, Asuka, Kasumi's little sister. Sorry, trying to avoid the picture there. If you have no other characters with Kasumi in the name, this does not stand during your stand phase. When this becomes reversed in battle, your opponent may choose a character in your library and put it on top of your library.
In your waiting room, put it on top of the library.
So
basically, as long as you have like a Kasumi back row that buffs, like that previous Kasumi that like gives 1000 to the middle center, leave this in the middle center, play that, or it wasn't like I don't know if it was a Kasumi, it might have been something else. Either way, you can easily get a Kasumi that buffs because we've mentioned like 5 level assist earlier. And, okay, that's not bad. So, it could be a lot worse, but that secondary ability is just kind of hurting. It would have been perfectly fine if they just didn't have that, anything but the first effect. So that was 66. 67 we skip, so 68. Okay, we're getting down to the last couple cards for this. Last 5 cards, or 6 cards, because it's 3 events. So, and then I think we've been over all of the climaxes except Exchange Promise, was it?
No, we went over that.
Yeah, you're right, because it was a 1k1 salvage trigger. So, okay, Saya True Feelings is a backup, just a 3000 generic backup, really simple right there. So, Spring Party Kasumi Toyama is a level 2, 1 cost, 7k. It's a common. If Kasumi Toyama is in your level zone, so you already had some experience effects. If you end up putting one of those Kasumi Toyamas in your level for the experience stuff, it also grants you the -1 level of this while in hand. So you can easily go ahead and get that and then be able to drop this at level 1. When this is placed from hand to stage, if you have 4 more other music characters, or characters with music or Asuka, you may choose a music character in your waiting room and put it into your stock. You don't blind stock off of that. So this could be a very nice early play, depending on what you have buff-wise, and it pays for itself. That's just really nice. So that's cool. Next is you.
All right.
Kasumi,
one day manager. All right. She is a level 2, pay cost of 2. When another one of your music character attacks, it gains 1,000. So if you attack with her last, she has the stats of a level 3. And I say that because her next skill is an encore, which is a music character. You discard it, and she, stays.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I didn't realize what you meant by the stats of a level 3, because she does have 2 soul, which is really nice. So, okay, that's pretty cool. So now we get into these events. So, something inside the storage, we saw a combo with several cards. It's a level 1, 0 cost red event. Brainstorm. Flip over the top 3 cards of your library, put them into the waiting room. Excuse me. Choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room with either music or Asuka in name. Return it to hand. X is equal to the number of characters with either music or Asuka in name revealed this way. Okay, so basically, as long as if you mill other events, that kind of hinders you. But I was going to say, if you don't mill anything but climaxes or whatever, it's also only 3 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So you more than likely can get back anything, because you always have level 0 characters you can get back with this effect.
Yep.
So that's not bad. Especially if you just need to get like brainstormers, or if you need to get other stuff back. That's not bad. It could be a lot worse, but it's not bad. So,
next one is me.
Wait, oh, it is. It's a counter event. Okay, go for it, bro.
Yes. All right. Under the Night Skies, level 1, 0 cost, uncommon. Counter. If you have 2 or fewer music characters, you cannot play this card from hand. Choose one of your characters, and that character gains 2,000 power and the following ability for the turn. Auto. Pay 1. When a level 1 or higher battle opponent of this it becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If so, look at the top 2 cards of your library, choose one among them, and put it in your hand and put the rest into your waiting room.
That's actually really nice. That's a good effect. I just realized we have the 3 promos we have to go over as well, but that ain't gonna take no time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. For only having to pay 1 off that effect, for being able to basically, because off that effect, you look at the 2 cards, you don't get to, your opponent doesn't get to know what you grab. So that's pretty cool. Also, because that's a counter event. Wait, I have to go back now because that is a counter event. I have to reread it. I'm sorry. Under the
next one's a counter event too.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So it's just when the battle opponent becomes reversed. So you can do this when you're getting attacked. Give a 2k backup, and then depending on if they get reversed or not, you can easily get mill a little bit more, because you're gonna take some damage first, and then the effect will go off.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. So then, Letter from Kasumi is a level 1, 0 cost, also a counter backup or counter event. Choose up to 1 character in your waiting room with Rimi in name and return it to hand. Specifically Rimi. Discard a card and then choose one of your music characters, and that character gets the ability for the turn. When this is placed from stage to the waiting room, you may put this rested in the slot that this was in. Okay, that's, if you base it around a couple more of the Rimi beat sticks and whatnot, or the level 3s or whatever, basically just lets you, for free, continuously just get back stuff and hand fix and bring back the Rimis over and over and over again, which is pretty cool. So that's not bad at all, especially if you end up using the level 1 reverser or whatever. I think the level 1 reverser was a Rimi, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. That is it for the normal events and the climaxes and cards. So then we just go to the promos. There's 3 red promos. Pucci Kasumi, Rimi, and Saya.
They are cute.
Oh my god, that is adorable. Okay, sorry, I have to see how... Okay, that's adorable. Oh god. Okay, that is adorable. Okay, so go for it for this first one, bro.
Pucci Kasumi. I don't know if I said that right, but...
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's a promo, level 1, 0 cost, 2,500 power. When your other music character in the front row center slot gains 1,500 power. When this is placed from hand, draw a card and discard a card.
That's actually pretty decent. My guess is these promos are also going to be basically the box promos, so that'd be pretty cool. As long as we don't get another Pucci Mikan, I'm just saying. Pucci Rimi, level 2, 1 cost 7k. Experience. If the sum of levels in your level zone is 4 or higher, this gets character encore, and when another of your music characters attacks, this gets 1,000 power for the turn. So she could become a 9k, and if you got the experience, character encore constantly. Pretty cool. So then, Pucci Saya, go for it, bro.
My bad. I was still looking at Rimi. I got distracted by the cuteness.
All
right.
Adorbs.
Come on, load. Alright, Pucci Saya. It's a level 2, pay cost of 1, 7,500 power. First skill is auto ability. This ability activates once per turn. When you play an event, plus 2,000. And its axe skill. Rest one of your music characters, and this gains 1,000 power. So you can essentially get it 3,000 power that turn.
Which, even more so, because 2 of the events are counter events. So the one event that states give a character 2,000 power anyway, use that on her. She gets 4,000 power because of her own ability. She becomes a 11-5 before anything else. With that buff, with the extra thing of, okay, I can pay 1 and then look at the top 2 cards. So that's pretty cool. And then, like you said, on your turn, it's an axe, so you can tap as many characters as you can tap. She can get more power. Combine that with the previous stated event because you can play it on your turn. Imagine tap 2 back row, do all this shenanigans plus 6,000 power before anything else, before climaxes or whatever. She gets pretty freaking huge, so that could be pretty cool. So we went through it a lot quicker than I thought we would. I honestly thought it was going to take us like an hour or so.
What time are we at?
We are under an hour, which is strange, but that's whatever. I really thought that was going to take us longer. I apologize for how fast we have to talk for that because we had to get through a lot of cards for that. Luckily, the climaxes take up a nice chunk of that, about 1/6 of it, so that's whatever. The events are interesting. That setup with the fucking level 3s, the star and parties of just stand all your shit. I'm about to heal a whole bunch, and just that is a. If you pull that off, I'm going to give you a handshake regardless of whether you win or not, because that's just a hilarious effect to be able to just, if you can get that off. Which, the way that that's going to be set up with the trigger effect, be able to, you can easily set up your field for that. It's not going to be difficult. It's going to be hilarious, in fact. I'm just saying.
Oh, very hilarious.
So, there may be some mono red shenanigans. I'm just saying, just. Well, it's not even mono red because some of the other ones in there are going to be the blue ones, the Tai and the Arisa. So, because one of the climaxes being, where was it? Poppin' Party First Live, which is a pants trigger, which lets you get the other trigger thing anyway. I keep calling them I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called a standby trigger. I don't think it should be called standby. I think it should be called like power up or whatever. Anywho, the last color we have to go over for this is the blue around Tai, Arisa. You'll basically, because someone else wanted to get in on it, and you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna be there for it.
Nope.
But either way, if that ends up falling through, we'll just bring you in for it, and we'll be fine anyway.
Oh, so I'm seconds. All right, I see you.
Well, the other dude called it like a while back, bro.
Yes, I know.
And yes, you're my sloppy seconds. I'm just kidding.
Damn. Damn. Damn.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually surprising on how quick we got through that. What are your thoughts on this so far, bro?
Well, I knew, just like the trial deck, they would have shenanigans, and look, they did.
Yeah, like we're gonna try to have the next trial by fire out by the time this comes out as well. We're recording this a little bit ahead of time, but we're gonna try to have that out pretty soon. And even messing with the trial deck for it with like the favorite items setup of the burn for 5 and your opponent can't play like shit that turn is hilarious. Just the massive buffs that they could do, I find that very, very amusing to be able to
if you can get both of those to work together in a deck.
You couldn't though. They're basically, as far as the starring party and the poppin' party, you really couldn't. The way, because it requires multiple level 3s from both.
I'm just saying, one is a backup situation. You never know.
One is backup contingency plan. Always have. Completely understandable. It would be hilarious if that could be mixed together. I can't foresee it being mixed together, but since that setup is already a red-blue color anyway, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll also have to see after we look through the blue stuff next time. Thank you all very much for listening. Sorry for taking this long and for how much we flubbed and whatnot. This is Kool-Aid signing out, and
Mr. Joe Schmo, I guess that's where it's supposed to go in.
Yeah, basically. And we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.
Bye!